And like I said in the previous video, when you come into this comment section, you're not going to speak to me anyhow. I'm a mother. Thank you. Thank you. Hi guys, and welcome to this next episode of Pop Culture. Welcome back.
Oh my word.
To the people who are seeing us for the first time in their whole entire lives. This is
The
a
first
YouTube
time they're seeing Nobisa in a wig also.
Is it?
It is. It is.
I feel like didn't I have that red wig on the channel before?
Which one?
Remember Galago, ooh, her name's not gonna come to me. But she had a wig salon, and we were trying.
Yeah,
didn't I have that red wig
you didn't have
on the
a
channel? It feels like that. Anyway. All those all those seeing us for the first time and have no clue who we are, listen, this is a channel that's been alive for 10 years.
Okay.
It's just been dormant for some time. Okay. Definitely not 8 years. And as you would have seen from the previous episode, we're back. And yeah, a lot has happened, as you heard, on both three sides. So much has been happening, but I think the biggest thing that's happened in our lives, we are mothers. And I'm a mother of two. 2 girls. Hey, Ngani, you have a child. Like, what the heck? I think one guy could do it, not you.
Okay, well, mother of 2, though, is like, damn.
Is it? Yeah. I think mother of 3 is actually damn.
Nah, 2, damn.
No, 3, damn.
Nah.
It is. I think
I'm gonna after the first one, yay.
Okay. So yeah, I think today's episode is intended to, I don't know how deep we're gonna deep, but like just to kind of chat.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, we're gonna chat as far as we can, I guess, on our journey as mothers. And I guess because when you last saw us of the channel, we were single. So the transition from where we were then to fast forward where we are now, and obviously then for me specifically the fast forward and transition to 3, because my second born is fresh off the surgery.
How am I?
I'm currently
you have to say you say second born.
Well, my second child.
Ma.
Well, babe.
I ain't gay.
My kids. You see when Kiki Palmer is my favorite. I got kids.
I got kids.
I got kids. When I'm trying to get out of a plan, I got kids.
I
got kids.
Nah, I got kids.
Please.
I got a kid.
So yeah, then you can kick us off, Kisan, on how has the journey been for you?
Well,
I do think that we're having a not similar journey in the literal journey itself,
yes,
but a bit of the emotional, mental turmoil.
Are you having time?
Is a little shared from where we were. Not now.
Oh, I was like,
no, man, not now.
Okay.
I think there's a lot that's happened where we've gathered Amanza now, but I don't know that when we found out that we were pregnant and when we had the kids, it was this you know the moms who are, I dreamt of this my whole life.
No. I did dream of being a mom.
Yeah, that is.
Like I've always wanted to be a mom. I've wanted to be a mom of 5. Like
that's damn, not 2.
Oh. No, I was just doing it for the kids, but
yeah.
2 kids. No, but I think it's just a joke. Like I don't want anybody in the comments like, oh, he's shady her. Stop. Yeah, like I always wanted to be a mom, and I just always thought it was gonna be like, I don't know, like I don't know what I thought motherhood was gonna be, but I didn't think motherhood was gonna be this.
Okay.
When we found out that we were pregnant, it was like, are you gonna keep it? Because we found out like 4 or 5 weeks, very early. And then it was like, okay, well, you might have endometriosis. So like what happens with that is that like if you choose not to keep the baby, it might be like an issue down the line. Not to say that you can't have kids, but you're definitely gonna have a hard time. So I was like, oh well, because I really want children. Do I want this to be the choice that I make now and then I'm struggling down the line? Like my cousin would always share, like, you know, what's and then going through IVF and like that hardship of that. And, you know, like sometimes it's successful, sometimes it's not. And she just would share with you just the emotional turmoil of being like trying to have a baby, and that is quite devastating. And the financial aspects of trying to have a baby through IVF is also another thing. And I was like, angagabi squeal. Not to say ngibe sona, but manje timeline ayikahlangani, and I don't know that like that's something I want to test out in the future.
True.
So we decided to keep the baby, and it wasn't solely based on that. Obviously, our partner's great. Like all the things on the checklist they all made sense. I was like, okay, prime age, it's all gonna work out. And I knew, as scary as it was to have the conversation with Ambazalban, I knew that Uma Vele was already in that space of wanting to be a grandmother. Do or die. And I really was like, okay, I'll carry the baton. But Nami, I was like, okay, cool. So I wouldn't say that I was like emotionally ready for it, but I think that I knew that if the only thing I had to sacrifice or make peace with is myself, because everything else was fine, that's a hurdle I can get over. Not knowing that the hurdle is quite high and my skills in long jump don't exist. Yeah, like I think Pops was like really great, like throughout the pregnancy. Like anybody that
you guys are cooking up a storm. I mean, look, I don't know if Pops was already interested in food and things, like if a be enthusiast, and by that I mean is in cooking and like
the pregnancy aspect was difficult, like, and scary, because we had a time where we had to get
that surgery.
We had to get a surgery because my what was opening? My
uterus. There's many Englishes. They were saying not premature. What do they call it?
But
they don't say it very nicely. But it's something was immature.
Oh yes, I have an incompetent cervix. Yes, I had an incompetent. I have a incompetent, because even if I have another child, it's still going to be the same issue. I have an incompetent cervix, meaning it's short. Apparently, it's supposed to be like 6'5" to whatever sense. Mine is short, meaning the space in between where the child grows or whatever, ibangane. So if the bigger the baby grows, the smaller the space, and then there's an opportunity for your cervix or whatever to open, and then your baby could slide out. So the thing that they do is have a surgery to put a loop or tie the knot or whatever. So that was scary, and it was like, okay, cool. And so when you go to the thing and you have the surgery, then the doctor's like, oh well, we have to observe whether, like, isebenzile or not, and your baby could slip out and die. And you're like, okay. So I was put on bed rest for like 6 weeks, and at like work was great, and my manager at the time was super amazing, and he was really great, and so like work wasn't, and that's what I'm saying, like everything wasn't focusing on the trying to make the issue. I think everything else of like, oh, okay, so pregnancy is hard, having the baby is hard, and it's hard. And then I gave birth on the day that I was having my maternity shoot. So I had the maternity shoot Emini. Epsugu, I was very tired. Really, I was all the time. I was like mostly on bed rest, sleep on the bed and whatever. And then we had the maternity shoots, and then 7, 8-ish, we had wrapped. And I was like, Post. Something's not too good. Angekho good. Pops was like, give me an hour. I'm man. So so 8, 10. Gave him the hour, he slept. Got the bag. We didn't get the bag actually, because we didn't think we were gonna sleep over. We just got like a few things. Get the stuff, go to the hospital. Hospital's like, okay, they put the pulse thing, that heartbeats monitor. They put the thing on, cool. Oh, okay, no, baby's heart seems like it's fine. Okay. So the intervals of the thing that they do is still about 20, 30 minutes. They do the thing. On the next interval, that's when I think heartbeat was like, something's happening. And then they were like, oh, surgery. I was like, oh, now? And they're like, yes, now. Like, okay, cool. So we had opted into if you
Oh,
know e-CryoSafe. So at the Mediclinic, Le SA Morningside, they have an option when you're doing like all your visits and whatever, if your gynae's there, they had that option of like that workshop with in the
like baby classes,
whatever. Baby classes. And one of the things, one of the
Pregnant.
supplier that came through was like a stem cell group that was like, oh, you know, if you ever have issues down the line and we'll save these stem cells of your baby that are down in the future, you ever have things like cancer, whatever, they can help you. I'm not really sure if that stuff works, but I was like, okay, fine, cool, we'll take it up. And so we did. So when it was time to give birth,
where are you going?
We literally
Kaloku Sisi, you're cutting our story. You must sit with auntie.
So, okay, I had to give birth now. It's like crunch time. Pops has to go home to fetch the
stem cell
mommy bag, the baby bag, the stem cell kits. Because you literally have like, I think it was 12 hours for the thing to be put in. When they cut the umbilical cord and the things, they cut it and they put in the bag and then they have to come and fetch it in like within hours. So he had to go home and go and fetch that. Shame. Yeah, touching. We were just very grateful that we live like 5 minutes away from the hospital. So all of that stuff was very quick and fast. But yeah, like,
and you really did because you're around the corner.
we must say yeah, like the journey was up and down in terms of pregnancy, and I think then the hardest part for me came post the birth. I think that was
Zani, please. No, I saw you.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is motherhood. I thought like the pregnancy and the birth and the death was hard until I get birth. And then it was, there's a stranger in my house. And then it went, I really thought motherhood was going to come naturally to me. Like, I thought I was going to like have stars in my eyes and
fall in love with them at first sight.
My very, very. But I felt duty more than anything in the beginning.
What do you mean?
I have to be his mother.
Oh.
I have to look after him. I have to make sure he's okay. I have to. And not because I didn't want to do those things, but you think that the floodgates are just gonna,
and it's the willing that just
gonna
open
pour out, and it's just gonna be like you're just willingly throwing yourself to it, and it just wasn't that. I just was like, my mother, like I won't. I think I struggled with having to mourn what I thought my life was going to be before this moment and what this moment is, and me having to get over that to then meet the moment. Because I genuinely was like, and not to say that like there's anything that I've lost or there's anything that but it was the idea that there was something I was losing, whether it was my independence, whether it was how I thought this relationship, like the romantic relationship that I was in, was going to be, how I wanted it to be, because now we have this child that we haven't really known each other for a really long amount of time. It's me having to stick to my word of, I think if anybody that knows me, I'm always of the mind of time means nothing. Time, like it, however much you think you know Mudu, that's the trust that you can put in them. I feel like I was being forced to eat my own words. And I didn't like it. And I think we struggled through that in the romantic relationship, to having to give me grace for feeling those things and going through those things and being like, okay, I'm going through this and like this is my journey, and I don't know what you're dealing with, but that's what I'm dealing with. And I kind of don't care what you're dealing with because I'm dealing with this, So yeah, I had a long period of that stuff, and I think the romantic relationship probably took strain in that sense. I mean, there's probably other things as well, but I think on my end, that was pretty much my like, this is not what I asked for this, but I don't like it. This is not what I asked for. But this is exactly what I asked for, but this is not what I asked for, what I thought.
Hi, Belinda, what is it? The dream is free. The hustle is sold separately. Whatever it's
I
called.
don't even know if it's that. I think it's like
What I'm talking to is, I'm just saying is in, you're gonna say another one. What you ordered versus what you got. Versus the dream being that you maybe it might not have necessarily been a vision, because I don't know that, well, for some people I don't think that you have a full picture of the down to detail exactly what it's going to be like, but just the fact that you had this picture in your mind and realize that, oh, so this is not even the coloring book that we're in. It's a completely different picture altogether, and then having to sort of, like you said, now needing to now figure out how do you meet the moment for what it actually is, and not the idea of what you thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that was hard. I think I only probably came to terms with it last year. Like, okay, cool, I'm a mother. Okay. And I'm in this relationship. Okay. And okay, this is where you're working. Okay. Do you like this? Okay, I do. I don't. I do. I want to make a change. How can I make a change? I now have to think about more people than I used to before, and what is that gonna do in terms of the impact of the decision that I make? Do I care? Um, yeah, like all of those things. I was like, oh, okay, I'm grappling with these things, but yeah, I don't think I have the right answer now. I do think that I'm taking it a little bit better in my stride than I was before. Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah. And I think, yeah, I don't know that like a sisterhood or like a community was going to be able to help me navigate that thing. Like, I think they were able to help me navigate different things as opposed to that personal journey that I think I had to go through. Because like the things that you guys were helping me with was like, especially like Ululu. It's like, okay, cool, do this, mummies, breast milk. Oh, wait, angifuna uyingena indaba ye-breastfeeding. Ngoba nje ivele ingifike emoyeni, because I really tried, but nothing happened, and then we were on formula. But yeah, like all the nitty gritty stuff in terms of mothering, I think I had a great community in that sense. My aunts, my mom, like everyone. My cousin was pregnant at the time. Aibo, 2022.
Oh yes, I even forgot. Cousin.
So yeah, but it was hard, and
but it still is.
Yeah, no, it still is hard. But I think that pre me had a harder time than I think I am now.
Yeah. Which makes sense, I guess, because again, I think a part of it also comes with acceptance.
Yeah.
Because I think for me, I share a lot of sentiments in terms of what happens after you give birth. I think for me during birth, I was chilled, I was fine, but also I felt like I was on fast forward, because I found out 4 months later. So I'm robbed of 4 months of either processing, accepting, buying the things, whatever. Now it's just like you've got 5 months to go, and everything now needs to like catch up. The space I lived in wasn't big, but it was, I think what you learn very quickly is, at least when you don't have the means to do more, buy bigger, you realize how little is a lot. I lived in a 1-bedroom apartment, and it was more than enough for what we needed at the time, especially because a lot of the time at the beginning, the baby is you in the room, you know. Anyone who's able to manage the baby and the nursery with a baby. I don't know if moms in the first couple of months let the baby sleep by themselves in a whole other room. If there are moms that do that, I'd love to see how you guys did it, because just the up and down from me and a cot. What I had a co-sleeper. Just doing this was exhausting. So I have to physically get out the bed and keep going up and down. Oh, I can. Couldn't.
Go back. We tried the cuts. We did. We did.
They did.
We did. We did.
They did.
We did. You did.
So so my pregnancy, but I was happy. Like, I was good. Like, there was no I didn't have like any of, I think, the stresses that you had in terms of what does this mean for the future. Should, in terms of the fact that she has endometriosis, that part of it, I didn't have any of that stress to worry about. I think when you find out and you explore the conversation of keeping or not keeping, or not keeping, I think there's also something to be said in that, because I think that there's also shame for those who choose not to keep.
Yeah.
And I won't lie that those thoughts and conversations exist when it is unexpected, when it is unplanned, when it is I won't have when I'm 4 months pregnant. And especially when you feel like you've carved such a long path of a career and a life and in everything where you've dreamt a dream of reaching a certain stage in your life and your career. I mean, you guys can watch a lot of videos back of specifically on my things where I think it's my personal interviews, I guess, on Behind These Walls. We have spoken about my career, and I'm exactly whatever I was saying over there, I'm exactly where I've wanted to be. So to have carved out this whole journey and path, I definitely felt like and I'm happy that I'd gone to therapy when I did, or at least for the person to explain to me what it was, that I felt like finding out, and I'm only feeling this after giving birth, that it interrupted my journey. I don't think that it destroyed it, but it interrupted it. So if I was going this way, someone came and was like, whoa, you have to go this way. What do you mean? What do you mean? And that was a very harsh reality to deal with after the fact. But during the pregnancy, like, things were chilled. Like, I think there's a bit of a bubble that you or at least that I lived in, and where you're planning things, you start going to these expos, you start seeing things, you start buying things for the first time, you're watching videos.
Yeah, you really
weirdly enough
motherhood. You into mommy expos, like
because it was like, because I think it was also just a little bit for me, I'm an overthinker, so you just are trying to figure out what are the things that you need. So then you feel like you need to go to these things to get more information. The one thing I definitely didn't want was information from mommy groups, other moms. My only trusted source.
Still don't.
Yeah. My only trusted source is Lulu. And a friend of ours, Lucianda. Those are my mom. That's my group. And I don't know if it ever burdens them when I'm asking, but those are the only people that I'm just like, hey, bitch.
And I don't boost me.
You were in the road with me. So what was I going to ask you? Because we were both like, hey, Mgani, which prime are you going to get? Hey, Mgani, me, I've already seen that. So what are we, Mgani, what am I? We weren't asking each other anything. It was just like
not a dime.
We were both going the deer in headlights. Because I felt like WhatsApp groups and everything and whatever was going to make me feel like I don't know what I'm doing. And you don't know what you're doing.
Mommy groups are strict.
I mean, then how do you know you have you been in one?
I haven't, but I think I see the pages, like the mommy pages. Like here and there they'll have like, posts and whatever. If you read the comments.
Yeah, Mgani, but I think
no, the moms are strict.
No, Mgani, Mgani, wait. Again, Mgani, get in the WhatsApp group. Lulu has sent us a link. Before you conclude. I'm not saying I think the comment section is just rife with a lot. And I think the algorithm also works in a way with some of those negative ones rise up.
Oh, really?
There has to be.
No,
I don't think that.
The mummies are strict. I'm being serious. You know what the thing is, I think that also deterred me. Like, I'm not in mommy groups either, but I didn't hold like a really strong thing about them. But I think angazi yabo mawukhuluma nje pregnancy, your algorithm, it changes and all the stuff that you keep seeing. So your whole journey is riddled with all, pregnancy information up until you give birth and yada yada. The comment section, Mavisa. Oh, mama bazokutshela ukuthi breast is best. Indaba ye-formula i-wrong. Abesagxila la ekuthenini wena uyaqakeka mayelana nokukhiphana nobisi. Akahlangene. Uyakutshela manje ukuthi you should be breastfeeding your kid. And you're like, by the time you're trying to tell her, I've gone through 20 liters of this and I've drank the herbal, I've done the concoction. There's nothing you can tell me that I have not tried. You're not trying hard enough.
Oh, okay. To be honest, the crux of what I'm just saying is that I just avoided.
Mommies, please.
I don't have this experience, is what I'm saying.
I don't have it either. Like, I haven't had.
Then what do you have? Why are you coming after the mothers so hard?
The comment section. I'm just saying
So
that.
No, I'm going. Let me finish my thoughts. Okay. We will spare a moment for the challenges of the judgment. Okay. Because now I also feel that
for the strict monies.
The judging. Yeah, I'm not saying ayiko.
I'm like.
No, I'm not saying ayiko. Okay. But I'm more speaking to
in this train of thought. There's no strict monies. Okay.
No, in this train of thought, I wasn't going even into the group. Gotcha. I was just more saying that I was avoiding the group chats because I didn't want to feel like I didn't know what I was doing. Because although I didn't know what I was doing, I just didn't want the feeling. There was a feeling of wanting to feel like I can figure it out and I've got this. I wanted to feel like I've got this. Gotcha. And the fact that I would need to rely on other people's experiences, that felt more debilitating than just stumbling on my own. Them. Yeah. And then on things that I might have needed to understand, that's when I would lean on the two people that I've mentioned to be like, hey, because it would be little things. Like, I remember speaking to Sandra to be like, how did you decide on diapers? Because I spoke to this one. She said Huggies, you saying Pampers. How did you know? And then all of a sudden it was like, how did I even choose Colgate over Aquafresh? No, for real. Because I'm like, how did we even make those choices? That's obviously because then it's inherited because you grew up with it because your mom bought it. Yeah. But now with motherhood, I can't point to a thing in my own house to be like, because I don't have younger siblings. So I didn't have a thing to be like, oh no, that's cooling ne formula, which fortunately my boyfriend was the one who he went to the shop and he took it in and then asked. And I'm that person. If you came and you bought me Tummy Tippy bottles, I'm going to Tummy Tippy until the end of time. Like right now, my second born uses Pigeon. A part of me doesn't want to use it anymore. Why? I'm not enjoying the experience. I'm not enjoying the experience with the bottle. It's also a little triggered. I think it's also a little triggered with the whole ICU thing and and I'll get to that part. But now because I've been using them for so long, it's only been 2 months. But now that I've been using them for so long, it's difficult for me to transition into something else. So I get very latched on. So the point that I'm just making is that transition into trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work, which pram to buy, what to work, that took some time for me and I was overthinking a lot of it, but I wanted those decisions to be my own. I also came off social media, specifically posting on the streets. And I was just more watching stories and things and I wasn't engaging in searching things because I didn't want my algorithm to also change because I also started to see with stories, other people's stories. And my guilty pleasure is watching birth stories. So people telling their stories about when they gave birth and and that whole thing. Not many moms always shoot the actual moment in the hospital, but I enjoy the whole thing. I didn't want to be a part of it because I had just come across, not too long after coming off social media, a video of a mom who carried full term only to lose the child at the end. And I'd never heard of that before. And I was like, I don't know, because they make it sound like the first, not they make, the first 16, 20 weeks is like really, really critical. And then it's almost like after, not that they say that, but it's like after that, you've kind of, so now I'm like, but I thought after, how can you, yeah, it's guaranteed that, especially if you make it till the end. So I thought it was guaranteed to learn that it isn't. Then it was the feeling I felt then, that type of stuff haunting you while you're pregnant. And I can't lie, throughout the entire pregnancy, I was freaking out in little pockets of like, is the baby still kicking? Because then when you go to your gynae visits, they ask you, and then you're like, hey, how many times have they kicked? Then if they don't kick as much, then you start to worry. Are you eating enough? Are you drinking the pills on time? Oh, I skipped a day. Does that mean anything? Oh no, this happened. Maybe you might have I don't know, bumped your stomach. Oh my God, does that mean something? So like, there's always a thing. But after giving birth, the more mental, emotional stuff kicks in. And that's the part where it felt like it interrupted my journey kicked in. Because it felt very, very like my career was going to do this. And I think the yearning to get back to content was so strong at that point. Because I mean, pop culture slowed down from 2018, 19 into 2020 and then as we progress, it just kind of got less and less and less. But the hunger to do it properly, consistently, even in my personal capacity, because 2020, I also started to do my own thing on Instagram, my IGTVs, Mega Hype Friday, all these different things. And I wanted to just get back into it and I just didn't have the capacity, the energy, everything, motivation, blah, blah, blah. And people would be coming in the DMs every other day, please, please, please. And it's just like, yo, if only you knew, I want to, but I don't have the capacity. And when the baby came, I was so checked out of all everything else that was happening and you get lost in this whole thing. And my mom was with me the entire time, but sleep deprivation, bonga. Like that thing will almost kill you. And when they tell you to sleep when the baby sleeps, as hard as it is, if you have the ability to at least rest when the baby is resting during the day, do it. Because in night shift, oh, humble. This time around, I'm doing it. And I can see the difference. I lost the whole night shift without, and I'm doing it by myself. And I don't feel any kind, obviously there are days I've definitely knocked my head on the cot, like, make this stop, like, can she sleep? I've had those days, but it doesn't feel like that state perpetually. And the first time, I felt like I was banging my head against the wall every single day. And I remember even having a phone call with my cousin, and I don't really remember the conversation. And I remember him afterwards being like, I didn't know who I was talking to. Like, I was a zombie in the conversation. So I think mentally, emotionally, I was very in a dark space after giving birth. Then you go back to work. Then it's like, I'm now trying to perform like I did in 2019. No one has asked me to, but I think I'm supposed to. And in the work environment, you set the tone for how you want to be treated, how you want to da-da-da. Yes, obviously there's influences, but ultimately you have the power to set the tone for how and where your boundaries start and stop. I didn't really set those in a clear way, which made it clear, this is where I start and stop. So I felt like I needed to like push. What happened? Burnout. By mid-year, I was diagnosed with psoriasis, which was...
Hey. Hey.
So it was, the stress was
high.
The stress was high, and the environment I work in is a high pressure environment. So I think that's the thing.
Oh, like, God, that was last year. Hey.
2020, it was 2022 into 3. It was 2020, end of 2022. Oh, psoriasis was 2023. Yeah. 2023. So yeah, so I think again, I think I still feel like we're obviously like we've said a lot, but we've still coated almost like the outside of the everything. Because I think that motherhood is such a personal journey. And there's some things that we might have said.
There's so much of it, right? Like, I think we've just, we've skimmed the surface, but there's so many little different pockets, whether it's like the partner stuff, whether it's like the actual motherhood, whether it's the community, whether it's the pressure of schooling and no schooling and creche and no creche and primary school. And
no, there's a lot of everything. And I think different moms can come in and say, you shouldn't have said that, or you can, I relate so much with that. Like, I think then to go back to something we were talking about earlier, there's so many conflicting opinions on all different types of timelines, different types of comment sections, different WhatsApp groups, whatever the case may be, is because everybody's journey is so individual. And I think why this moment shooting matters to me a lot is because in some way or shape or form, it feels like I'm claiming my stuff back. Like, not the motherhood stuff, not the daughter stuff, not the girlfriend stuff, mine. Like, my passions, the things that make me happy, the stuff that actually I have control over. Because I think pop culture for me was such a defining time in my life that brought the confidence that I have in the corporate space. We found our voice here, and we had control. Nobody told us, like, you didn't have any control in the space because it was ours. And then to see what that did for us, all the things that unlocked. And I think it was I'm grateful that let's say the ending of that period of the channel ended off of the back of her winning an Emmy, because you would have never convinced me at any given time. It feels like I won the Emmy because I talk about this thing more than she does, but that's a story for another day. And for those that don't know, she was in a documentary with the Michelle Obama. Let's be clear. Thank you. Google it.
Oh wow.
And it won an Emmy. So we're not just talking about like an Emmy. I don't know what, the real one from America. Okay. So like, because the thing is, you would have never told me when we started the channel that Temi would be an Emmy winner. You would have never. As in, even if you told me, you'd be like, how can a little YouTube channel get Temi to meet Michelle? That's not realistic. But the fact that it happened, you can't tell me anything is impossible. Like, it just... So for me, being able to be...
Unlocked your third eye.
Oh.
The conjugations.
Oh, please. So for me, being able to be back, it's a more symbolic thing for me of like, okay, cool. Really, the dream delayed is not a dream denied. Sure. Because it definitely was very delayed. And I think at some point I thought it was never going to happen again. And I've had many moments where I'm like, maybe I should just message the guys and be like, guys, just shut down. Like, let's send the message to the people and let's say it's over. So that it's
so that
hurting.
the ajar door doesn't feel so...
No, so that because it's hurting when people come in the DMs. And I'm like, I actually don't know if you're going to come back. But my go-to answer is never give up.
Never give in.
Don't give in. Don't give up. Watch the space. That was been my answers for the past 5 years, right? But inside, I'm like, yo, nobody's like, never give up, never give in. Meanwhile, I'm like, I don't even know if this is going to happen for us.
Yeah.
So when Bongeka comes, and she's like, guys, I've got an idea. I was like, praise. The channel can come back, even though it's coming back in a different format.
Yeah.
But the concept is such a grand, big concept that it's not something that can happen overnight. And then it not fizzled, but like she had to put it on ice because it's her concept, it's her idea. And I was like, go for it. But then it had to go on ice. And I was like, oh, so the channels are coming back. Okay, that's fine. Cool. So like all these things that just feel like a start and stop. And then every day, wah, wah, ba, ba, and 17, wah, wah, ba, ba, wah, wah. Fire. Guns shooting. Hey, fire. Hey, fire. Daily. And that's just your life daily. And you just like are rolling in these punches.
I'm saying a colleague of mine, when I was sharing that I resigned, and then I was telling, so we spoke about, like, we were on a conversation for about 4 hours. We spoke about like multiple things. And I told her that, oh, it's really a YouTube channel. She was like, oh, really? She was like, oh, show me. And then I was showing her some of the videos. She was like, who is that?
Oh, okay.
She's like, and I'm saying this now because of like what you're saying in terms of the point of reclaiming. She literally was like, who is that? She's like, I've never seen you smile that big. Like you look lighter there.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, well, that kind of hurt my feelings, but like not in a bad way, but in a wow, it was a slap in the face, just to like a reality check of like, wake up. You know, I think we've been doing a lot of talking of wanting to do it, but like Unabis was saying, I'm very glad that it will get up. Thames actually is who.
It's almost more Thames. And you know the funny thing is that pop culture, technically pop culture also starts because of Bongeka. So Bongeka at the core of it all is actually
at the precipice
critical to the story.
She can never,
because clearly us two, we keep doing this.
Mind you, living in the same city.
Oh, okay.
That's not saying
First of all, Utembi is 8 minutes away from me. But let's be clear. Single Michael one.
Okay.
We had to have somebody out of the city.
Masango is critical for
I'll survive.
Survival, intervention, creation, I didn't say revival. Just longevity, creativity. Like she's at the precipice. She has helped us cross the Rubicon. My dad said this to me, and I was like, what is it? I had to Google it. Anyway.
No, but that's the truth, though.
Yeah.
It's like, when I think about it now, I'm like, guys, pop culture, I'd spoken, so before even the podcast, it gives me so much a lost because I'm like, I wanted to do this thing in 2014. Look at me now. I would be 11 years in the game, but guys collab.
Yeah.
But then with that vision and the yapping that we do, becomes camera on pop culture. Look at us now, same thing. The difference, I think, this time around is going to be the discipline.
Yeah.
And it's going to be intentionality. That's the difference. Yeah. And I think where I'm fearful, not necessarily of things fizzling, but where I'm fearful is more like, fuck, how does it balance? Like, what does it look like? And that's how I was like I think I spoke to you about this yesterday, where I need to find myself, I need to build a routine around it. Because that's how pop culture worked. We had meetings during the week, we shot on the weekends, Bongeka edited, weekend into the week, we released on the Wednesday. And that was the cycle. So no matter what would interrupt us on the journey,
that is so timely.
Yeah, she said, wrap it up.
She said, come on.
Sorry, my daughter's knocking on the door. But like, no matter what would happen, someone can ask me for coffee, I will have pop culture meeting at this time. And I want to build it into my life. That's the thing, is to integrate it into my life, because that's the only way I know I'll commit. Because even on the darkest days, when I'd be like, yo, I don't want to wake up. Hey, because we have to shoot. And you know that you can't message to be like, hey, guys, I don't want to shoot. Because
when?
It's not going to happen.
The only thing you could do is push the time. Move it from 11 to 12. But you were doing your job.
You do it,
You were coming up and you were showing up. And I think
that's going to be, that's for me, I think. Especially now, because I'm mom of two. And like I said, we've skimmed over a lot of many things. And those things will obviously come up as we get into the different episodes. Yeah. But like the mom of two part, because I'm also still navigating the dynamic between having a firstborn who is as big personality as she is and wanting the attention and everything. We're girl, but it's also very different.
In what sense?
I'm saying because as much as
remember yourself,
no, of course, but in the way that whenever my mom has never said this was you. You know what I mean? But I can see if you ask her to dance and you put a track, unprovoked, the girl's dancing, that was me. Yes. You know, so I definitely think that I was definitely talkative and all the rest of the things, but I think she's in the littleness that she is, she's still very very sure of herself, girl. And like that's the thing is where when she says no, it is no. And obviously you as the parent, and then if you come from a black home, this is Mamela, this 2-year-old. But I've realized as time goes on, I guess in this modern parenting, I'm actually trying to listen to the no. And I'm like, okay, I actually need to ask for permission. Sissy, but we want to shoot. Can I sit over there? Can you please sit with auntie? Please, can you go over there? Please. Come on, and I need to get the yes. Because I know if it's a no, we're going to battle it out together. Obviously, the black Xhosa mom comes out. And then I'm really like, I don't have time for this. Okay? And this is Vangawa. So that exists. But the long and short, because this is very long, but the long and short of this whole thing for me on my side, a lot of this season for me is about claiming it back. Getting my time back.
What's your mom saying?
Be the key. Was the key.
How?
Be the key. If you don't know what you're talking about, guys,
go
we will link it.
TED Talk.
Guys, we've done things. Let me tell you something. This platform has done things, okay? We were on the Mail and Guardian 200. We were nominated for Luries. We were nominated for Can Awards. Don't get it twisted, okay? Yes. That moment that we were on the channel, things happened, okay? So, and I think another big part, we'll talk about it another time, is also feeling like we don't have a place in the creative space anymore. That was also another one, for me at least, because the platforms are platforming right now, okay?
You did feel like these two OG people coming on screen, well, like, what are they going to talk about? 3, including Ubonge, to just be like, where are you guys going to fit in the space? Like, what's your voice? What is your voice? What is your point of view as well? Because I think back then we were coming from the point of view of in the life, and we're going to take you guys along on our journey of like finding ourselves. I think now we have kind of found ourselves and we kind of know what it is that we want in life, and you know the journey's there, and it's there's still obviously things that we are still like, oh my god, what is this about? But there's very much to see more solidified and strung together, and it was like, what voice are we adding to an already saturated markets, points of view? Everybody's got something to say. What is it that's going to be different that we're going to want to say as well, that you're going to want to listen to as well and share with your friends and be like, okay, cool, I still want to tune into this. And I think that's, I think it's going to be a journey with all of us to figure out.
Just like the camera slid off the dashboard. We made it till the end somehow.
100%. And I think I'm interested to hear what it is that we have to say now versus what the other peeps have to say.
To be honest, and again, like this is not any shots to anybody. I'm really not worried what other people are saying. Oh. I'm not though.
Okay.
Because I think in the same way, like we all have space in the sun.
I'm not necessarily saying that I'm worried what.
Oh no, I know what you mean. No, I know what you mean. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I'm just saying is that right now, because I spend so much time looking at what other people were saying,
Right.
watching all the other channels, I'm just like, I actually am trying to just find my voice.
Yeah.
I think that's just all I mean. But I get what you mean. So that's why I'm like, I don't mean it in a shots fired kind of way. It's just more of like, I'm just trying to tunnel vision myself so that I can like to silence everything. Because I think right now, because there's so much out there, there's a lot of temptation to mold into something. And what made this platform thrive was the fact that we didn't want to mold, was the fact that we didn't play into the algorithm. We didn't do the things that would make channels skyrocket. So I think right now, I'm just wanting to almost like put us in like a room to just close and just for us to focus so that to be able to then come out and be like, okay, cool. Because what does this mean for collaborations? What does this mean for, because that's the school of YouTube that I know. So for me, it's a thing of like, before I can figure out where I fit in or what this means and what I'm contributing to the culture and all because that's how I end up going. Because then I want to, before I even, please, I will now start emailing you guys. That's the thing. So that's why I was saying that it's not that I don't care. I love the creator space. I want to be where you are. I want to be with the creators on the platform. I just mean as in, right now, I just want to focus and know what my actual opinion is and know what my thoughts are on certain things before I can invite other voices in.
Gotcha.
That's, what I mean. And like I said in the previous video, when you come into this comment section, you're not going to speak to me anyhow.
Okay.
I'm a mother. Thank you. Don't be weak, guys. Please. No. Ninga did to solve the fact that you weak cool gogo. You weak that's not going to cool. That's not going to tala. Okay. I want to steam. Sitting gogo abo.
You know what?
Wrap it up is what you're saying.
Yeah. And don't forget to like and like and subscribe. We have a TikTok channel now, guys, so please follow us.
I'll say Pambile TikTok channel Coca content.
I'm
so scared of TikTok. If there's one platform in it.
Why?
You know how much TikTok is the best. Maybe I must just say it. It's probably the best social media platform there ever was.
Yeah, I mean, I
like honestly.
I agree.
But the thing is, it looks so easy. Like when you see what's happening.
We did one TikTok and we took 6 tries.
Which I'm assuming the others do too.
No, I have to.
But I'm just like, it can't be like this to get to the end.
No.
Because this is a one take and we're at the end.
Because as soon as I try, I want to. However, I'm like, giving over inside. And it's that push and pull. So if you check my TikTok.
I'm busy. I'm private. Don't even. Don't even.
Yep. They're on Instagram. But then, yeah, she's.
If you guys open my TikTok, then maybe I look
but that's what TikTok is.
I know. But they're willing and able to be seen.
Who's they?
The kids, the fathers, the uncles, all of them.
It doesn't matter. TikTok is the future. And we must join in.
Lord.
Thank you. Don't forget to like, watch, comment, subscribe. Also, turn on your notifications so that you know that there's a video as well.
Notifications. Do you even know? Do you even know how to upload? Unga-upload ngani on
mina ngiyakwazi mina yazi.
Ngiyakwazi unga-upload ku-Gmail. Uyakwazi kwafu.
I mean, even all of us.
I haven't been on the back end in so long. I don't even know what it looks like.
No, Josiah. back end, nasty. But actually, I have been. Like when I'm fixing like tags and stuff.
No. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. See you in the next episode. Bye.